Hello and welcome to Will and Zeal. I am Liman, and today's own it promises to be very, very special. You just don't want to know all that is going to take place until we return from the break. So please don't go away. Hold on, I'll be back. Will and Zeal. Needless to say that we are in the love season. There is a lot of love in the air. You already know it is Val time. And so today our attention has to do with knowing what some people will think about a person with disability and his romantic love affairs. And I have some two lovely people on the program today that we'll be sharing moment with. To start with is the precious lady that answers the name Precious. Precious Udoka, it feels so nice to have you on Will and Zeal.
All right, thank you, Mr. Usman. Mr. Liman Usman, right?
Yeah.
I just want to correct the point. My name is Precious Udochi.
Udochi.
Yeah, thank you for having me around.
Okay, okay, and closely sitting next to her is Raf Duse. Raf, it feels so nice to have you.
Thank you, Mr. Usman Liman.
Let me start from the lady. Precious, what do you think? In this point, I want you to talk candidly. What do you think of a person with disability wanting to have, a romantic love affairs?
Wow. Thank you, Mr. Liman Usman. I don't know what you call disability, but so far love affair and romantic is concerned, a person who is not able to know what he wants regarding to that is disabled. So if you're talking about the physically challenged people, I think it has nothing to do with their condition. I will gladly fall in love with that kind of person you were talking about if and only if I see exactly what I want in that person. It doesn't really matter if he's blind, crippled, deaf and dumb. I think for two to come together is for the other person to augment or complement the other person where there is lapses. So that the partner, the other person is not seeing, I am seeing, I should be his eyes, or he should be my eyes. So if you so well, I think it's normal. It's normal to have love affair with them. It doesn't really matter because if you're talking about the other side, like some people used to say, it has nothing to do with those physically challenged because you can take charge, he can take charge. I mean, you will do what he can't be able to do.
Well,
Yeah.
we'll come to that. You you break it down for us. But let's hear what Raf Duse feels about it. Raf, what do you think?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Liman Usman, Will and Zeal, and Love Affair. Love says covers all things.
Wow.
Love does not have anything to do with a segmented area. Because when it comes time of love affair, it does not look at your present circumstances you are going in or what you think you are. What you are looking into is that love that the person has towards you and you has also towards the person. If I was a lady, I am sitting and I'm in love with you, I don't care what you think it is. What I'm seeing is the beauty of you inside out,
Your heart, right?
not your physical challenges that you are into.
Okay, Ralph. Now you are a man.
Yeah.
And there is that lady on wheelchair that is smiling at you.
Yeah.
And you really can see a lot of things that you desire in that lady. But here she is sitting on wheelchair.
It's not any issue for me to fall in love with a woman on the wheelchair. Reason because it's not because she cannot stood up to do something by herself. No, there are some certain qualities or attributes that she has that betrays me to go towards her and show her affection passionately to bring her into a place of being capable to achieve with her full feet on ground because I'm on ground. So I just allow and I just look into her physical challenge possibility in the wheelchair and make her as if she's like I do, where I can walk, I do everything because there's nothing she need to do that she can't do. It's just the walking, and if I'm there, I'll make her that, yeah, she is me, I am her.
Precious, here is this guy that you are smiling at, and he just can't smile back at you because he doesn't even see your face.
Well, before I go into that, I just feel like I should sit right on a wheelchair and watch watch Mr. Ralph
What will
demonstrate.
be Ralph's
Yes, exactly what
reaction?
he's saying. You know that people do say that talk is cheap, but I don't believe in that slogan that
Mm.
talk is cheap. You can say a lot of things. I'm a realist. If I feel he is not seeing while I am smiling, there are other things I can do to draw his attention.
Such
Hey, young man,
like.
you look so handsome today. What's going on with you? He say, oh, me. I say, yeah, you. Then I could draw closer, give him sense of belonging, make him understand that I want you, because I know that they say that men really react to what they see. Fine, it's normal. But when that person is not seeing you, there are some other things as a woman you can put on to attract that man. Because sorry, Mr. Liman, I just want to bring it to the word that he is not seeing. I am his eyes. Hello, excuse me. He can still see through me.
Yes.
So hey, Mr. Man, I think I want you. That's all.
Well, you see, I will be narrating a personal experience, but let's take a bit of musical break. When we come back at the other side, it will be my turn to tell the story. So hold on, don't you go away. We'll be back.
Will and Zeal.
So nice to have you back. If you're just joining us, this is Will and Zeal, where we usually concentrate on affairs that have to do with persons with disabilities. And today, because it is love season, we are looking at persons with disabilities and romantic life. I have two lovely people with me discussing this, Precious and Ralph. Now, Ralph, you would you don't mind if a lady is on wheelchair and is desiring to be your friend. Have you ever had anyone close to that coming your way?
Well, I have never, but I've seen, I've never in person, but I've seen a lot who have shown such affection from the standing point of loving each other till they got married and they bear children and they live in peace without looking into whatever the circumstances the other person is facing.
Okay, before I ask the question, let me just quickly tell a story. What once happened to me? I took a taxi with a lady, and when we got to where we were going to, the taxi driver wanted to help me across the road, but he got other passengers that wouldn't let him do that. So he told the lady that was sitting next to me, he asked if she was going my direction, and she said yes. He said, "Can you please help this fellow across the road?" She said, "Oh, why not?" Okay. So when we were crossing the road, she asked of my name, and I told her, and I also asked her name. She told me, and I said, "Oh, you have such a lovely voice. I like the way you talk." And she said, "Yes. Um, can I tell you something?" And I said, "Okay, go ahead." She said, "When we were sitting in the taxi, I didn't realize at first that you are a blind person."
Wow.
So I said, "Oh, really? I thought you were concentrating on your phone. That was why I did not say a word to you." She said, "Yes. I deliberately put on a game on my phone, and I was just trying to draw your attention to it so we could strike a conversation. But that opportunity didn't come, and I felt maybe you were not interested in talking to someone, not until this chance come for us to work together." And the rest is story. So, okay, um, Precious, tell us, have you ever come that very close to anyone that really piqued your interest, and yet this person is in this kind of condition we're talking about?
Well, Mr. Liman, to be honest with you, with you, it has happened to me. One thing about Precious you are looking at here today is that I go for wherever I want. If I were that lady you just told in the story right now, I would increase the volume of that game to draw your attention. Maybe it could disturb your peace and you will say something, or I would say that naturally nature wanted you to talk to her. That was why nature provided that opportunity for her to express herself, irrespective of the situation surrounding the whole thing. Well, I have seen the blind, I have seen the crippled. In fact, some of my friends, I must be honest with you, God bear me witness. Some of my friends, including me, because I think I have these short toes. I think it's also disabled because sometimes I wish I should have these long toes that I can paint. Whenever I sit down, I put it this way. So when I see some of them around me, I try all my best, especially the one that catches my fancy. I try to make sure. There was a day I met a guy, Mr. Ralph. So he was actually sitting. I didn't know that the walking stick there was for him. I thought it was just for normal swag. So when he stood up, picked his walking stick to go, he missed a step. So I was like, oh, you should have told me to help you. What am I doing here? He just smiled and said, I thought you wouldn't like me. So that was why. So when I see them, I like them. Mr. Liman, like you. Forgive me that I'm using you as an instance. I could be your eyes. I could do anything just to make sure that we all live in. You deserve the best. I think that they are wonderful people that God has given us the opportunity to care for them. That's my opinion.
Well, I think I can attest to that. Precious is somebody I know more than the face of this camera, and I believe her in all that she's saying. Thank you very much for being on the program. I truly appreciate that. We are taking yet another musical break. When we return at the other side of it, it will be time to meet persons with disabilities themselves to let us know what they think, how they feel about it.
Will and Zeal.
Okay, coming to the aspects that I may want to say, this is the B side of it. We're going to continue with the conversation with persons that are truly in the condition. And I have two lovely people to discuss more with me on this issue, starting with Favor Ajara. Feels nice to meet you, Favor Ajara.
Thank you for having me here.
Yeah, we are going to be talking about persons with disabilities and romantic affairs, if it matters to us. But before you come in with your opinion, let's welcome Lucky Pastor.
Mr. Liman, thank you for having me once again.
Pastor, you know
My
why
name, right?
I'm
I
laughing.
know.
Okay.
The name Pastor, right?
Well, it's okay. So because someone will be waiting to hear you quote Bible
I
verses.
see.
Okay, Pastor is just
My
his
surname.
name.
Oh, yeah.
his surname. Right. So I will want to always start with the ladies. So Favor, what's your take on this? A person with disability and romantic affairs.
Yeah, once again, thank you for having me here. It's a great pleasure. First of all, I want to say that persons with disability, ladies with disability, because I'm going to come in from the ladies' perception. We are also persons and we are humans also. We have blood running through our veins. So when you talk of romance, of course, we should be there too. We should be in a romantic relationship also, not just for those who are not persons with disability. Thank you.
Okay, Favor is someone on crutches, and someone we want to say, does it, do they have the feeling to kiss and to caress and so on? Lucky, what's your take on that?
Well, I've always believed that love is a feeling, and like I always say, people tell me, they call me lover man because I always say love is a beautiful thing, it's not gonna twist it. So for me, when I lost my sight, I did not lose my emotions. I still cry, I still laugh, I still smile just the way I'm smiling now. So I still feel that urge for romantic affairs. Okay, so and being a person with a disability does not in any way stop you from wanting to have that bond with the opposite sex does not in any way stop you from wanting to have that um, entanglement, that feeling of being loved, being cared for, and having someone you can, have this kind of euphoria when it comes to love affairs. So I don't see it I don't see disability in any way stopping anybody from being romantic or having that feeling of romance.
Lucky is a writer and more of a poetic writer. So tell me the most
Oh yes,
romantic
I,
poem
I have love.
you,
I have
you've
love
ever
poems. Oh yes, I do.
Yeah.
I have. There was a time when I was in school actually, and in the university, I wrote a poem. I actually had a friend then. I just liked her. I liked the way she does her things and all that. So I wrote a poem. I was inspired by the likeness I had for her. Then I wrote a poem. I titled it "Why Can't I Say It." Now, the title of the poem came from the fact that I was already in a relationship, a serious one at that. But then I'm liking someone else. So there is this restriction to tell this person how I feel about her. So instead of telling her directly, I decided to write a poem. Why can't I say it? So at the end of the poem, I sent the poem to her. She read the poem. She was like, "Wow, I'm falling in love with you already." But then that's just the thing. Love is a feeling. And me, when I feel it, sometimes I try to put it down and write it. And it's been beautiful.
Okay, I would want to ask you how did it end? Or
No,
did
don't
it
even go there.
continue? Okay.
Well, we want to know how it ended so that
No.
at least.
Let him spare us that aspect. Okay. Favor, have you ever been, in a strong feeling with someone, but then you just have these reservation or the fear that you may not be taken simply because of your physical condition?
Okay. No, not really. I've been into a relationship with someone, but not really that I was scared that the person would abuse the relationship just because of my disability. No, I was not really scared about that, but it turned out to be so. It turned out to be, although not from him directly, but from his relatives, his parents saying that can she really perform when it has to do with sex? We really need to come openly now. Can she really do something in the bed? Or can she give birth? Can she carry pregnancy even on crushes? But it's just a thing that, individual. It's just a thing that individually we have to really consider. Does disability really affect the womb? Does disability has to affect your feelings, that your feelings will be dead, you will not feel anything for any human being? The answer is no. It doesn't occur like that. So disability can happen to anybody, but the feelings are still there when it has to do with romance. Yes.
Okay. Will you feel confident enough to play romance with your partner publicly?
Of course, of course. Of course, Romeo and Juliet. Of course. Once I love him,
Okay,
love
go.
him totally.
Yes.
It's matter of love. He do the right thing. He accept me for who I am. Of course, I can go to anywhere, to the moon and back.
Okay.
I'm coming to you to let me know. No, just hold on. We'll come back to her to tell us what's the plan for February 14th. Lucky, so tell us, has it ever happened to you that maybe you approached someone and you were turned down because of you being blind?
Oh, okay. Surprisingly, I'm a kind of a person that I don't just ask ladies out. As a matter of fact, I've only asked one lady out in my whole life. Yeah, and that is the lady I am with right now, and by God's grace, we'll soon be getting married. So I've not really had that experience of asking ladies out, but then I've had the experience of ladies telling me how they feel about me. They want us to go into a relationship and all of that, but then there's always this excuse of I have someone already who I'm into a serious relationship. So although all my life I try to be a good boy, so so I've never really double dated. Okay, so to answer your question, I've not really had an experience just because I've not really asked a lot of ladies out. So that's not been an experience I can share because I've not had it.
Okay, thank you very much. But just before we go, favor, what would be your final to say to the public out there?
Okay, I'm going to tell the general public, you that is listening to us, watching us out there, that you shouldn't see disability to be a disease or a stigma. Persons with disability are also humans too. They have feelings, they have emotions. So if God say yes, this is the right person, and the person have one disability or the other, go for it. It doesn't stop the person from any emotional or any romantic act. Accept persons with disability just the way they are, because they are also human beings like you also. Thank you.
And Lucky?
Yeah. Love is a beautiful thing, like I will always say, and persons with disability are not left out when it comes to sharing what they feel about people or what they feel about the opposite sex. So I love, and I'm a person with a disability, and let me just use this opportunity to say I love my fiancée, and happy Valentine's to her.
Wow.
Do you still remember her name?
Oh yeah, Antonia Eyembako, and I
Okay.
call her Amy. That's my own. Emia, she's Baggy by tribe actually.
All right. Thank you very much. It's been wonderful having both of you.
Thank you very much.
Will and Zeal.
Wheel and Zeal is one Sky Starry program that inspires the viewer and also boosts the morale of every person with disability. Is open for sponsorship, advertisement and announcement. For more information, call 0809 685 9565 or email wheelandzeal@gmail.com. Wheel and Zeal equals dream come real.
So you can see that one is a person with disability doesn't stop it at all. The feeling is still strong there, and all that goes with romance is intact. So don't you go thinking that for the sake of disability, something is hindered when it comes to romance. And with this, I want to say thank you very much for the time you've taken to be part of it again. Until when we will be coming onto the program in another edition, on behalf of the entire people I've worked with, I want to believe that you will enjoy very wonderful moment for the rest of your evening.